In my last video, I talked about why pivots failed and how most of the time it's not a motivation problem, it's a process problem. Today, I'm going to show you the actual process that is the framework that I use to structure a pivot. So whether you're changing careers, starting a business, altering your life, or just trying to figure out what the next chapter looks like, this will apply. It's 5 phases, and if you follow them in order, you'll always know where you are, what you're working on, and what comes next. So let's go. Phase 1, assess. Okay, this is where most people skip ahead. I did. We feel the friction. We know something needs to change and we just want to jump straight into action. Phase 1 isn't about taking action, it's about data gathering. Here's what phase 1 actually looks like. You notice patterns. Maybe you feel drained. You're doing the same task every day, week, or month, and it's not landing the same way it used to. So you start watching videos about a different kind of work, right? You're curious. You're asking questions and you're not acting yet, you're researching. What does this role or business actually pay? What certifications or skills do I need, if any? What tools do people in this space use? Could I realistically replace my income? Those are the questions you're asking. So let me give you a real life example. I have a friend, we'll just call her Danielle. She's 49, a single mom. She works in corporate and she started feeling that friction. She's drained after work. She's repeating the same cycle. She wants to get out of it. She's watching videos about freelancing or becoming an entrepreneur. But she didn't quit her job. She didn't announce anything. She just started gathering data. What do freelancers in this space make? What certifications help me? Do I need them? What tools do they use? And could she realistically do this? That's what phase 1 is about. It's an awareness. It's awareness plus research. And here's the lesson. Phase 1 is an action. It's preparation for the action that you're going to take. And if you skip this phase, you're moving on emotion instead of information. That's what I do all the time. And that's how pivots fail. Phase 2. Plan. Once you have the data, you move into quiet preparation. And this is where you don't announce anything. I've made that mistake because I just can't keep my mouth shut sometimes. And I know that's normal because we're excited. We want to share. But now is not the time. Okay. You don't post on LinkedIn. You don't tell everyone you're pivoting. You just start building. And for Danielle, phase 2 looked like this. She did update her LinkedIn profile, but quietly. She took on small contracts, projects on the side to test the work. She saved a few months of expenses so she had a cushion. And she reached out to freelancers in her field and just asked them real questions about what the work was actually like. There was no drama, no big declarations, just preparation. And here's why this phase matters. Preparation lowers fear. Okay, when you've done the work in phase 2, when you've saved a little bit of money, tested the skills, and built small frameworks, you can prove to yourself that maybe it can work. And the leap, it doesn't feel as scary. You're not jumping blindly, okay? Phase 3, build. This is the decision line. This is where you commit. And for Danielle, her company announced restructuring and that was scary, but instead of panicking, she looked at her checklist, right? She was prepared. Savings, check. Side income, check. Market demand, check. So she gave her notice. I'm not saying everybody's ready for that, but she went for it full time in her business. Now, here's what I want you to hear. You will never feel 100% certain. There is no sign from the universe that says, yes, now is the time. Because every time I thought I heard from the universe or I got a sign, it wasn't. I mean, there's just a moment where you've done enough preparation that the risk feels manageable. That's the best you can expect. And that's phase 3. You build, you commit, you move. And honestly, this is the phase that I think it feels most alive if I had a word to describe it, because you're finally doing the thing that you've been preparing for. But, and this is important, this is not the end. This is just the middle. Phase 4, adjust. Every period has a destabilization phase, every single one. And for Danielle, the first 3 months were uneven. Some months she made more than her corporate salary, and that's to be expected. Some months she made much less, which is even more to be expected. Clients ghosted her. She had to learn contracts, invoicing, marketing, all the things that no one tells you about when you romanticize freelancing, right? She realized freelancing, it wasn't freedom necessarily, but it was a different set of problems. And this is where a lot of us panic. We think, I made a mistake. This isn't working. I should go back. And maybe that is legitimate. But phase 4 is recalibration. You're learning what works and what doesn't. and you're adjusting your approach. You're figuring out your pricing, your boundaries, your systems. This phase is very, very uncomfortable, but it's not a sign that you're off track. It's a sign that you're on track and learning. The lesson here is every period has a reality check phase, and expect it. Don't let it derail you. Phase 5, complete. This is the phase where you refine and really own it. For Danielle, after about 18 months, things started to click. She narrowed her niche to startups. She raised her rates. She created a digital resume prep guide that was based on repeat questions her clients kept asking, so she streamlined it. And here's the shift that mattered most. She stopped calling herself someone trying freelancing and became a business owner. She really owned it. That identity shift, that is phase 5. You're not experimenting anymore. You're not testing. You own the pivot. You refine the process. You know what works and you trust it. The final phase isn't fast success. It's ownership. So I want to bring this back to you wherever you are in your pivot right now, career, business, life. You're in one of these 5 phases. And if you can name which phase you're in, you'll know exactly what to focus on next. If you're in phase 1, stop trying to take action, just gather data. If you're in phase 2, stop announcing, just prepare. If you're in phase 3, stop waiting for certainty, just build. If you're in phase 4, stop panicking, just adjust. If you're in phase 5, stop second guessing, just own it. Now, in my first video, remember I talked about my own story, how I paused my keychain business, got some certifications, and realized I've been doing project management all along without the language for it, right? The framework, these 5 phases, that's what I wish I had known when I started, because I just jumped in emotionally. I didn't understand the phases. I didn't have the mindset. And if I had known this, I would have approached it differently. I would have had a more predictable outcome. I can't guarantee success, I don't know, but at least I would have had a shot. So if you're in the middle of a pivot right now and you feel lost, you're just in one of those phases. And now you know what to do next. Please drop a comment and tell me, which phase are you in right now? I want to talk about it as a community. And if this helped you, hit subscribe, because in the next video, I'm going to talk about something that I know a lot of us are feeling. It's the fear you're running out of time. Spoiler, you're not. And I'll explain what I mean in the next video. So I'll see you next time. Bye.